Simmer down, warriors.
Hey, welcome to TalkWord. This is where we get curious about English words and really break down what they mean. Today, we're looking at a fantastic word, one that's just as much at home in the kitchen as it is describing some pretty intense human emotions. We're talking about simmer. So here's a question for you. What could a delicious, slow-cooked sauce and, that feeling of quiet, hidden anger possibly have in common? It sounds a little random, I know, but the answer is that one single word. And by the end of this, it's all going to make perfect sense. All right, let's start in a place we all know and love, the kitchen. This is probably where you first heard the word simmer, and it's the perfect place to start with its most literal, physical meaning. So what does it actually mean to simmer something? Well, it's a verb, and it means to cook a liquid really gently. The key here is that it's just below the boiling point. We're not talking about a big, rolling, chaotic boil. This is all about low, steady, controlled heat. It's how you develop amazing flavor over time. Okay, so how do you do it? It's actually super simple. First, you crank up the heat and bring your liquid, whatever it is, to a full boil. But as soon as you see those big bubbles, you immediately, and I mean right away, turn the heat way, way down. What you're looking for are just a few tiny, gentle bubbles breaking the surface every once in a while. That's the sweet spot. That's a simmer. And this brings us to something that trips a lot of people up: simmering versus boiling. They might seem kind of similar, but honestly, in the kitchen, they are worlds apart. Let's put them side by side. Just look at this breakdown. Simmering is all about low and gentle heat. The bubbles are small and soft. The whole goal is to cook something slowly, to let all those flavors get to know each other. Boiling, totally the opposite. High, intense heat, big rolling bubbles, and the goal is speed. You want to cook something fast. The bottom line is, you simmer for flavor, you boil for speed. All right, we've got the kitchen covered. You're a simmering pro now. But here's where this word gets really cool. When we take that idea and use it as a metaphor for life. Let's step beyond the kitchen and explore the figurative side of simmer. I want you to hold that image of the pot on the stove in your mind, okay? Really picture that low, steady heat, that energy that's just under the surface, making those little bubbles pop up every now and then. You got it? Okay, good. Now, let's just swap out the pot and put a person in its place, or maybe a really tense situation. That same exact principle, that contained energy, that feeling of pressure just building up, it totally applies. And that brings us to the figurative definition. When a feeling or a situation is simmering, it means there's something strong going on, like anger or excitement or tension, but it's all being held just below the surface. It hasn't exploded yet, but you can feel that it's there, ready to boil over at any second. Definitions are great, but the best way to really understand a word is to see it in action. So let's put simmer to work in a few different sentences, and we'll cover both its literal and figurative meanings. Here we go, our classic kitchen example. The tomato sauce needs to simmer for at least 2 hours. You're not rushing this. You need that low, gentle heat to do its work to make that sauce absolutely delicious. This is the literal meaning, plain and simple. And now for the complete opposite. Anger simmered within him. See, he wasn't yelling or throwing things. That would be boiling over. Nope, the anger was quiet, it was internal. It was that low heat of frustration just building and building right under the surface. You can just feel the tension in that sentence, can't you? Back to the kitchen for one more. This is a great example of a practical instruction you'd find in a recipe. Let the stew simmer on low. It's a command telling you to use that gentle heat to just keep things cooking slowly while you're busy with something else. And this last example really shows you how broad this idea can be. Tension has been simmering between the two countries. We're not talking about one person's feelings anymore. This is a huge international situation. There's no open conflict, it hasn't boiled over, but that hostility, that tension, it's right there, just under the surface, waiting. Okay, so let's just quickly recap. In the kitchen, simmering is gentle, low heat. Boiling is intense, high heat. And when we talk about people or situations, simmer is all about that hidden, strong emotion that's just waiting to bubble up. Pretty cool how it works in both worlds, right? Hey, if you enjoyed breaking this word down and want to try it yourself, you should definitely check out the TalkWord mobile app. You can actually create your own little word explainers just like this one. It's a really fun way to get deeper into the English language. And on that note, I'll just leave you with one last thought to simmer on. After digging into this word, what other ideas or questions are simmering in your mind right now? Thanks so much for joining me.
So, guys, simmer down.
Simmer down, Professor.